What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we talk about all of the wonderful things on your TV and movie screens. So, in this episode, we're gonna discuss the DC Cinematic Universe and what went wrong, and why I feel basically that there's no hope for the DC EU unless they reboot it. Those of you who don't know, the DCEU is the DC Cinematic Universe. You know, what they tried to do similar to Marvel. So, just to start off, I want to let you guys know, I'm a huge comic book guy. I know people that are way bigger nerds than I am. But growing up, I was definitely into comics hardcore. Mostly Marvel stuff. I mean, when I say mostly, almost all of the stuff I read was Marvel. If it wasn't Marvel, it was really Superman or Batman. They're the only DC characters I've really read thoroughly. I've read some Flash too, who I also like. But those are the two main ones. I grew up on the 90s cartoons, the animated series, Batman, Superman, who both nailed the characters. The characters were exactly what they should have been, with the exception of Clark Kent. I don't feel like Clark Kent was done well. But overall, those two shows, great. Grew up on the Burton movies, loved them. The Donner films, you know, they were good. I really don't think they were great. I feel like they're a little overrated. But the first two, I enjoy them. I've watched them multiple times. So, this is my history with the characters. I love these characters. I just want to say that because I'm about to say some not so nice things about the DC Cinematic Universe. And I don't want you guys to think that I am not a fan or I don't want these movies to work. Because I do. Ever since I heard about the Man of Steel, I was excited. It had me ready to go. We were already into the Marvel Universe a little bit. So to hear a DC, you know, I believe it came out the same year as the Avengers. So to hear it, you know, that DC was starting their own thing, it excited me. So I wanted it to succeed, and I still do. But that's going to be hard at this point. All right, so you understand, I love Batman, I love Superman, I like the Flash, okay? Now, these characters are designed in a way that makes them interesting, it makes them intriguing. Batman, let's start with him, is an intriguing character. Number one, he's not really a superhero. He has no superpowers. You know, he's a rich, smart, tough guy. That's basically what it boils down to, right? Who has obviously a moral compass. The key things about Batman that every movie should have is the difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman, excuse me. Whereas Bruce Wayne is a playboy, you know, he's very outgoing and witty and, you know, kind of a smart ass, I would say. And Batman is this dark, brooding character who doesn't say much. He speaks 1-2 words. And he's a complete badass, doesn't take any shit. Not that Bruce Wayne does, but you get where I'm going with it. Now, so Bruce Wayne needs to be all of those things. And Batman needs to be, above all, a great detective. No movie yet. I'm sorry, I'll argue this with anybody who thinks that they could bring up a valid point. But no movie has shown the proper detective. Batman starred as the world's greatest detective. And we haven't really seen that on screen. Other than him using a few cool gadgets to figure things out, we haven't seen him really be a detective. And I think that's necessary for the character. Now, can you do a good Batman without the detective? Obviously, because Burton did it twice. And then Nolan did an awesome job on 2 of the 3 films. I mean, the third one was good, but it wasn't as good as the first 2, the Nolan films. So, yeah, that's what you need for Batman. And you need badass action. The way that Batman fought in Batman vs. Superman is the way that Batman needs to fight. Bone-breaking, MMA style, just beat your ass to a bloody pulp. That's the only thing I feel like DC did right with the character, other than the look. I liked the casting, and the action, but they didn't get anything else right on the character. Everyone always talks about how Batman was amazing in the movie, and yeah, he was the best thing about it, but they could have done a lot better with what they were working with. All right, so that's Batman. Now, Superman, you need to have two characters also, not as way more drastically different, than Bruce Wayne and Batman, because Superman is pretending to be Clark Kent, so it's an act. So he's actively trying to make Clark Kent as different from Superman as he possibly can. The Donner films did this well. That's it. That Superman Returns, that was garbage anyway. And Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, it's like Clark Kent and Superman are the same exact person. Don't like that. I think it's essential. That duality is essential for that character. Because think about the struggle it takes for a man who can bend metal and shoot lasers out of his eyes and fly out of space. How hard it is for him to pretend to be a mortal man. That's a great story in its own. And the DCU has not done that. Definitely. So you need that contrast. Definitely. And then Superman himself needs to be a light character. Even if you want to take these movies in a dark, serious tone, Superman has to have light moments. He has to be light. Can he do dark things? Can he have dark moments? Yes. But Superman is the light to Batman's dark. If you just have a world full of dark, mean, brooding characters, it is not enjoyable for me. And I guarantee you these people, these actors, are not having any fun on the set. Marvel, you see their set pictures and everybody's having fun all over the place. DC, you see Twitters of, Momoa doing this or Gal Gadot doing that, whatever. But nothing that leads me to believe that these are people having fun, that are going to make a fun, good project, which is what any comic book movie should be, even if it's meant to be dark. Okay, so with that being said, I kind of went off on a little bit of a rant there. I apologize, but that's who the characters should be, and that's to me the essential things to make those characters translate well to film. Now, what they've done wrong was if you look at Man of Steel, there's no light. Like I said, there's no lightness. Yeah, the whole movie takes place in the daytime. It takes place bright. You can see everything, which is a good thing, right? They did do a good thing by giving us a little Krypton background. Great. I liked how Kal-El, Superman, was struggling with himself. But we never got any Clark Kent moments. We never got those moments where he wasn't just angry and upset. The whole movie. And that's not Superman. Superman is the symbol of hope, the beacon of hope. Not just because he can kick ass, but because of who he is and how he portrays himself to the world. So they got that wrong from the start. I enjoyed Man of Steel more than anything else that this DCEU has put out. Man of Steel to me is the best movie, but it's full of flaws. Lois Lane knowing who Superman is right away, and the way they put her in the action. Should she be in the action? Sure, of course, if that's the way the story is going. But the way that it happened with the spaceship and all that, I don't know. I just couldn't do it, and I'm not going to pick apart each movie one by one. But Man of Steel was my favorite of the bunch. And then, Batman vs. Superman came out entirely too soon. If you look at Marvel, they plan these things out years in advance. Iron Man didn't come out, and then Iron Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk came out, and then they listed the next 10, 15 years of movies. They didn't do that. They waited all the way till they finished the Avengers to really start releasing a slate. They were 6 movies in. They already had the world built. You knew the characters. You knew who they were in their own solo films. And that's why the Avengers worked. They needed no exposition, no explaining about who any of the characters were, other than Chitauri. We knew all the Avengers. We didn't know Hawkeye too well, but we didn't, it's Hawkeye. We didn't really need to know him too well. We knew the villain even, with Loki being in Thor. So they designed it in a way where the story fleshed out, didn't feel forced, felt natural, and it worked out for the best. What DC tried to do was, Marvel's doing amazing. We have to catch up. Let's just do it all now. And narratively, it doesn't make sense. So the only people who are going to constantly watch those movies and keep going back to those DC movies are the hardcore fans. And that's not who makes your money. The broad audience is who makes your money. So if all you have is Superman and Batman kicking each other's ass, yeah, the fanboys are going to eat it up. A lot of them are going to love it and watch it multiple times. Even the ones who didn't like it will watch it multiple times, hoping that they liked it the second time. But it seems like DC doesn't understand that. WB, I think, is really the one to blame, the studio. Usually in these situations with this type of obvious cash-grabbing tactics, is all they're trying to do is capitalize on what Marvel's been doing. And they're trying to do it quickly. And that's not the way to do it. These characters have a fan base. And if you laid out 4 or 5, 6, let's say 4 or 5 movies before Justice League to introduce us to Superman done properly and Batman done properly and maybe even different than we've seen before, Wonder Woman done properly, Flash, etc., right? You give us 4 or 5 of the Justice League before the Justice League movie and hints at the villain. And if you whoa, kick the mic there, sorry. And if you really think about it, they could have done it in a way where Batman was the Nick Fury. They wanted to go with an older Batman, a more grizzled Batman, really dark, which, great. If anyone's going to be dark in the Justice League, it should be Batman. They could have done a Nick Fury thing and had him pop up in every movie or in every other movie or whatever it is. But they didn't do that. They rushed to it, and we got Batman vs. Superman not knowing who this Batman was. Not knowing who Wonder Woman was. Not even really knowing who the Superman was, because he was a one-note character with not much of an arc in the first movie. So they just did everything wrong. And now you see it, right? These 2 movies came out. Okay, we still had hopes for Suicide Squad. David Ayer, great director. The movie was, I love the character portrayals, but the movie was trash. If it had Joker as the main villain and we got to delve into 1 or 2 more of these characters a little bit more and had all that Enchantress stuff cut, the movie might have actually turned out to be really good. But because the studio thinks they know better than whoever they think they know better than, they decide to make it this big CGI-driven battle against the Enchantress, trying to make it feel, I guess, like the Avengers. And it didn't. It didn't feel like the Avengers. It didn't feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, if that's what they were going for. It felt like WB and DC saying, how can we catch up? Well, we'll do Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in one movie, and we'll throw a bunch of villains together to be the heroes in the next movie, without much plan, without much connective tissue, and then we'll just throw Batman in there to make it all feel like one universe. It was hokey to me, and I'm upset that they wasted David Ayer on that movie. Totally. And even the talent. Margot Robbie could have and should have and was okay, but she should have been great as Harley Quinn. I mean, she was the best thing in the movie. And Will Smith was good too as Deadshot. But they didn't have much to work with. So, what could you have done differently, DC? Easy. Took your time. Made a plan. Had a roadmap. Okay, we're going to do Superman. And then you should have done them right. You should have had people who knew the material. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder. You did all right with Watchmen. I like maybe 1 or 2 of your movies, but for the most part, he's not the guy, I feel, to direct those movies and maybe to be cinematographer. And he's definitely not the guy to run your whole show. So DC, this is what you needed to do, or need to do now. Scrap whatever you got and just reboot. You do Superman right. You have people who know the character and understand the character. You do it. Small threads hinting at a larger universe. Then you do like a Wonder Woman or a Flash. Same thing. Doesn't have to be in this order, but same thing. Understand the character, make a movie about them and who that character is supposed to be, and let the universe flesh itself out. Little threads here and there to tie everything together. Right? And then you do maybe a Batman movie right before Justice League, and you have, well, hold on, right? So then maybe you do a Man of Steel 2, right? Do a second Superman movie and have the character actually have an arc and evolve and have us start to feel something for this character. We know who he is. We've seen Batman now throughout 3 or 4 movies popping up here and there. And then you do a Batman movie, make it interesting. You do an old grizzled Batman and you do a young Batman, and you have the stories tied together through a plot line that's connected. Which brings us maybe into the formation of the team. Not necessarily the threat, but maybe the formation of the team. Batman is like, oh, the villains are getting stronger, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I'm not the writer here. And then you do a Justice League movie. And you can save a character, Cyborg, Aquaman, whoever. You can save a character or two to introduce in that movie. The villains should be introduced already, I feel. And that's how you get it. That's how you really get it going. Little exposition and all character, action, and story. So, and then from there, the sky's the limit. From Justice League, if all of that works out right, which if you did it right and you made every movie different, Batman is this superhero movie, and Wonder Woman is this period piece, and Flash is about time travel and science. It's a very techie kind of movie. Like a Cyborg movie could be tech too, or if that's the way they wanted to go. Then you could do Aquaman, bringing us into this whole other universe and make it like a fantasy film. And make all these movies different and then bring them together for Justice League. Marvel did that to an extent, but a Marvel movie is a Marvel movie. I thought with Phase 2 they were going to be doing more different things, but it really just seems to be more of the same with, different characters. But I still love the Marvel movies. Not really shitting on them too hard. So that's it, man. Scrap it. Look, you already have what's in production. Justice League is coming out. Wonder Woman's coming out. Let those play out. Then you wait 2-3 years. Develop a good plan for what you want to do. And don't introduce it to the world until you're 3-4 movies in. And then you tell everybody your plan. Just handle it movie by movie. Treat the characters with respect. And do them justice on screen, and I guarantee you, the money will come, the universe will build itself. It's already there. I don't even know how many years of DC lore there is. 60, 70 years of lore. Come on. Get with the program, DC and WB. Alright, this video's went on way too long. I know I rambled a lot. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did, show me some love down below. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. Throw me some constructive criticism in the comments. Always welcome. I guess I'll see you next time. We're done with this video. And you guys have a great day.